Yeah, so copper, sideways action, pretty hard to call copper. So I like to keep it simple, have this large channel here. For me, the upside resistance is really 3.95-ish. It's this zone here. You can see it's struggled to really get above that. It did it one day and then it came all the way back down again. I think that was bad news. It was actually quite bullish at this point here. It was outperforming other commodities just on this particular period. But reality kicks in and then it's sent lower because I think it's just the dollar going up. And here we are. So for me, it's trading within this channel, 3.5 all the way up to 3.95, so about 50 cents range. And it's just sideways. If the dollar keeps getting stronger, then copper has to go lower. Also, copper is very sensitive to the market. So if the market's going up, then copper might also want to go up. But if the market's going down, which I think which it has been doing recently, and which I think it will continue to do, then copper will also want to be sent lower. So for me, I'm actually a little bullish. The dollar still, the DXY, I don't think it's lost support. I think it can go towards that 106 zone. And I think the markets will go down. So for me, copper is probably going to go lower in the medium term or even the short term. So, but today so far it's up a little bit. So that's probably the dollar getting flushed a little bit because of what looks to have happened in Japan, actually. So it's really the Japanese yen that's sending the DXY lower. That's my take. Otherwise, middle of the range, nothing special. Let's look at natural gas. This one here has been very, very tricky. It's sent everyone, both sides of the trade. You got bulls and bears getting really frustrated here. So we've got this little 2.5 zone. It just dips below it now and then, but doesn't close below it. So it keeps bouncing, and then you have this very strong move all the way up to 3, and then it retraces, but way too much. You're not supposed to retrace all the way back down the full move. Then it bounces strong from the absolute bottom, pretends to break out of this very important descending line. Look at that. What it does, it just doesn't close outside of it. It breaches really high all the way for 2.8, but closes back within it. So that's another false signal. But then the next day, back up we go. And then the squeeze is on. No, we're not back down. It's just all over the place. But I still think we're going to go up. I think we're going to go all the way up to 3. I've put in all the mini trend lines I think count. So here you can see, I think they're all valid actually. I don't like to overdo the trend lines, but I think they're all valid here. We just need to close above 2.9. That's really it. Can we just keep curling, going higher, just break out of this very, very mini descending trend line? And on the same day, to be honest, we'll probably reach above 2.9. But do we close above 2.9? Once we close above 2.9, we should then visit 3.05. What we really need is a 3.05 close, because then for me, it's blue skies until 4. And a lot of people are going to be watching natural gas. Trust me, once we're at 3 and closing above 3.5, that's it. All the systems go at that point. And it'll happen pretty quickly. So, but until then, it's not, nothing's confirmed, because you could easily have one terrible day and then, the next day we're testing 2.5. And if we have a close below 2.5, that's it. It's the same system going the other way. So natural gas has been just frustrating. It's this tickle that just cannot go away. And are we going to close above 3.05 or 2.05, below 2.5? I think we're going to go up. I think it's long overdue. One good thing about natural gas is it's not tied to the markets. It doesn't really care if the market's down 3%. Natural gas is not going to be going down just because of the markets. It also doesn't really care about the dollar. That's my take. That's what I've seen for months. I didn't really follow natural gas much before the war, the Russian-Ukraine war, but once I saw it flush, I got interested. So I'm long. I actually wanted to be long more. I was adding around this zone. For when I was doing my first few videos a few months ago, I added around, I think my average is around 2.3-ish or something. I've forgotten, but I'm in the money, but I'm really looking for this squeeze. Okay, that'll do with natural gas. Let's look at oil. Oil also has been very, very strong since the slowdown here, 66, 67. Went all the way up. We saw the mini break out of this trend line here. I remember it very well. We had a little mini trend line, just like the one I looked at in natural gas. And as soon as we closed above it, I knew we'd go here. But then look at the strength here. As soon as we closed above that, I knew we'd go much higher. And I said 82, 83, and that's what we did. Then we actually went to 84, which I didn't expect. But then we retraced because I thought there was a bit too much of a move. And we retraced to the first level of support after losing 82, 83, which is 79. And then look at this sort of double bottom attempt. Up we go. This really surprises me. Continued move. This is with the DXY, dollar being strong, and with the markets going down, because normally oil follows the markets a bit, and it's a little sensitive to the dollar. So oil is very strong. You know, markets going down, dollar going up. Oil should really be going down with those two, but no, it keeps going up after going up already a lot. So for me, what if the DXY reverses, or what's more likely, what if the market goes down? Well, also, something else you've got to consider is oil going up suggests inflation will be higher. You know, and inflation going up in the future, you know, hitting the future CPIs, that should mean interest rates go up or are more likely to stay higher for longer than people expect, which should send markets down. So maybe oil going up sends the markets down. That's something else to consider. But I think we have to complete the move to basically 90, you know, whether we go to 90 or 91, 92, I think this descending line will definitely count. You're not allowed to just go through that like butter. Maybe it just goes through it because it wants to get to this horizontal 93.5 zone. Maybe there's a bit of a magnet resistance there, but for me, this entire area here should be resistance, you know, between, let's say, 92 and 94. That should be resistance. You're not allowed to go straight to 100. So, but do we get there or do we reverse? I'm not sure. Of course, I'm not sure, but maybe some sideways and then up move, because we've just taken out this 85 resistance. So, you know, if we do go down, maybe we just bounce off it and then go up. I don't know. But oil is very, very strong long term, just like all the commodities, very, very bullish. I just think if we get to 92, 94, that should be resistance. And we're already around 88. I mean, just now at 87, but, you know, we've been at 88, which is pretty close. So I'm going to say short-term bullish, long-term bullish, medium-term neutral. If I'm allowed to say that. Short-term we go up there, long-term we're going all the way up. Medium-term we can go there and then just come back down again and retest this 84 zone, maybe even dip below. So overall bullish though, of course. Uranium, just super bullish stuff, beautiful stuff. That was also hard to read down here. Lots of not false signals, but you know, it was strong and then the market went down, so uranium would go down. But it was this breakout and then this, you know, this underwhelming move here where we went all the way back down, but then we grinded sideways, higher highs, higher lows, kind of. But then really ever since this candle here, which reminds me of this area here, just super strong move straight out, took out this 23.3-ish resistance, and then look, straight to 24.3. That was nice. That was obvious once it started to close here. And now, really, I mean, the market, if the market flushes, then we're going to go back down, back to support though, not straight down. You know, 23, just below 23 should hold. But if there's no market crash, or if a market crash doesn't affect uranium, which I think it would, you know, a market crash usually does affect uranium. But if the market doesn't crash, it just goes sideways up and down, then uranium really should have no excuse but to keep going up. 28, 28, 29, and then straight onto the 31, 31.5 highs. This is a beautiful chart. Beautiful little wedge, breakout, retest, up, 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 squeeze. And the miners, the uranium miners, also doing that. So well done to the uranium bulls. I wanted to buy down here, didn't, and I deserve not to be in. So all right, I'm going to do gold and silver now, but I'm going to do that separately because that is a special little commodity I tend to follow.